Welcome back to the Hatecast. This is your host, Bryce Allen, and in this episode, we rant for about an hour and a half, so sit back and enjoy. Now, just a little note here that we didn't go over in the actual Hatecast, this Rant 30 segment that we're going to be adding on to the already vast selection of podcast episodes. Something I didn't add in is in order to be entered into the giveaway, you also need to comment in the comments section below, and we will contact you via YouTube. Now, we contacted somebody in the other video, and they ended up not answering us. So, if there's a better way we can do this, maybe do it on our Facebook, do it on our Instagram, something like that that's more accessible for you guys, please also let us know about that. So, with that being said, sit back and enjoy Rant 30. And we're live. Welcome to another episode of the Hatecast. This time with my partner in crime, Jamie Lewis.
Move back, motherfuckers! The Jamie is here!
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, back the fuck up! Oh, you don't remember Onyx? Come on. Oh, that's right. You're like 14.
Yeah, I'm like 14. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what time is it?
Oh, it's fucking rant time. It's rant 30.
There you go. And we'll play some little intro music in between that for you guys. So, I would like to talk about something that has been bothering me for quite a long time. And that's these motherfuckers that put like 6 plates on the squat rack. Let's face it, 8 plates would break most gym bars. 6 plates on the squat rack, go down like, they do this hopping thing and they think that's squats. They do the same thing with bench too. Yeah, like I don't know, man. It's like they barely bend their knees. I mean, if you go look at gym fails, you'll see a bunch of them. And it's fucking ridiculous.
I honestly would rather pour bleach in my eyes and be blind for the rest of my life than watch a single person lift weights ever. I don't give a fuck what they lift. I mean, I'll watch strongman. That's fun to watch. But watching gym lifts, nah, I don't know why the fuck everybody's busy with that. It is the most dull thing on earth to me.
Well, you know, there is this fascination, like, Kevin Levrone recently, he's retired from competing now because, in his opinion, he can't get that same level of leanness without sacrificing as much as he did back in the day, right? But he's he's saying, I'm going to give the fans what they want. And he's going to go around doing gym clips from a recent interview I watched. Gym clips shirtless. Because, I mean, that's what everybody wants to see. Everybody wants to see the muscles contract and everything. Because that's what the little gym culture of people who watch lifting videos on Instagram want to see, right? Like, everybody wants to see this, like, shredded guy just fucking contracting his chest and stuff like that. It's a form of muscle worship brought on by social media, I think.
I'm going to... just take a break for a second and go put my oven on broil. So if you don't hear from me, it's because my head's in the oven, and hopefully I'm dead.
Yeah, no, I don't get it either. Like, it's motivating seeing guys like Ronnie Coleman, yeah, buddy, and then fucking, in this denim squat suits he used to be in and fucking lift 1,000 pounds. But, like, somebody doing, like, cable crossovers and grunting like they're in the middle of ejaculating, I don't know. I don't get the obsession.
Or the people who are busy with, 14 lines of excuses for why they have a lackluster video. And it's like, number one, nobody wanted to watch you do a set of fucking stiff-legged deadlifts with 135 for any reason. And it doesn't matter what the fuck your excuse is. Just don't put it on Instagram. You don't need to film every fucking thing you ever do. And also, while we're at it, nobody fucking cares that you went to Target to get a fucking tube of toothpaste. Like, I don't understand the obsession with documenting everything you do these days.
Hey man, what's in my cart? What's in my shopping hauls are big right now, and it's all that if it fits your macros crowd, right? It's that social media.
Wait, I don't even know what you're talking about, and you might as well fill me in. It just gives me one more reason to buy a bunch of fencing and start rounding up these retards and putting them into camps.
Yeah, I mean, something like that. So what it is it's vlogging has become popular among fitness YouTubers, right? It's like they want to bring you. I mean, they They make life more difficult for themselves, by the way, because I'll be honest with you, every competitor does the same shit every day. Like, it's very boring. It's like they're normal people living. Like, regardless, it's kind of like watching the show Big Brother, which I'm not a real big fan of. Like, if they put normal people in there without these absurd personalities, there would be no show, because it'd just be people going to the restroom and eating. Like, it would be fucking ridiculous, right?
Is that what people are actually just filming themselves going shopping now?
They're filming themselves going, like, to the post office. Like, the most fucking mundane thing that you can fucking think of.
They narrate the entire thing in their car, because people keep sending me these videos. By the way, don't ever fucking send me a video, because I won't watch it. I absolutely refuse. Just tell me what happened. I can fucking move on with my life. I don't want to watch some dickhead yelling at his phone while he's driving to the fucking post office. I don't give a shit what he has to say. It does not matter to me.
Except for Frank. I like Frank. Robert Frank.
Fuck that guy, too. I cannot watch any of that shit.
But it's one of those things where it's like this new obsession that I just, you know, and I'm young enough where I should be there. I should be there at the forefront of this stuff, but I think I just missed the mark. I don't know, I'm a different kind of person. It's like, you know, for every 20-minute video you watch of somebody like fucking going to the grocery store, going to the post office, by the way, most of the fitness YouTubers go to the post office to drop off things that they're selling to you because you watch their videos and buy their shit, right?
What do they sell?
Apparel. Everybody's got a shirt now.
Oh, Christ.
By the way, we are coming out with new shirts. Don't worry about it. But, you know, there's my shameless plug. But, no, it's
did
like,
Wayne finally got those, the two that I commissioned, he finally got those popping? The tank one and the wolf one?
I'm unsure. There's something super secretive that we've been going on in apparel. And I'll fill you in off air, but people who like hats are sure going to like... our new apparel and
that isn't all that super secret. I posted a video Wayne gave me about that
shit.
2 months ago. Yeah.
But yeah, that's coming soon. But anyway, it's you know, it's different for us though. Like we actually have a following. These people have like maybe 20,000 subscribers on YouTube, right? Which is nothing it's a pin drop, right? And they think they get this ego about them, and they come out with the apparel, you know, because, you know, every fitness guru's or every fitness personality's got to have their apparel, man. Everybody's got to have that apparel. And then everybody's kind of come out with an underdose pre-workout. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Or you're Boston Lloyd and you got illegal shit in your pre-workout.
Oh, it's just, well, no, he scrubbed his Facebook of that, so don't worry about it.
Scrubbed his Facebook of what?
Yeah, so I was there when it happened, and if this offends anybody, sorry, but when Boston Lloyd had DMZ in his products, right? I was there. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I just see posts start disappearing off of his nutrition company, and I'm like, I wonder if he's finally scrubbing himself of DMZ, and it turns out that was true. He completely, like, if you go to his Facebook. Fury DMZ, which is his old pre-workout with dimethazine in it, right? Which is it's a designer steroid. He completely scrubbed every mention of it on his official Facebook and Instagram.
Oh, because he wants to come back into the U.S. or something?
Let's not speculate. But back onto the topic. I have no clue, actually. I have no fucking clue. The guy's a mystery. I have no fucking clue. But I don't want to speculate either, because, you know, he's got his own hustle going on. But it's just, yeah, that was interesting. I was there at 1 o'clock in the morning where everything started to get removed, because I'm guessing he knew the U.S. Because you have statistics on your Facebook page. Like, I know what time you guys click on our Facebook stuff. So if I ever wanted to scrub something, you know, not saying that we do, but if I ever wanted to, that's one of the ways in which a business would do that, you know. But anyway, it's one of those things where, you know, everybody has their own pre-workout, everybody has their own fitness apparel, and everybody fucking vlogs. And it's the same vloggers that post, like, videos where they're like, oh, well, my shoulder isn't feeling it, or, oh, you know, I didn't get much sleep last night, so I'm going to go light, or I'm going to, you know, like, I'm going to go PR for reps or some shit like that, right? Like, nobody cares. In my
Just don't
opinion,
film
anyway.
it. Like, what is the problem?
Well, what is the problem is constant content. Everybody needs constant content in this age of social media fuckery, right? Everybody needs to just flood your Instagram feed, flood your YouTube notifications, and everything like that. And, I can't say that I'm not a hypocrite in that, because I'd like to bring more content to this YouTube channel. But at the same time, like, I'm not going to be uploading multiple videos a day. That's spam. I mean, that's fucking... Anyway. But if you just took those 20 minutes that you watch, because everybody doesn't watch just one video. Everybody watches, an hour or so. If you just put a podcast like this on, right, instead of watching somebody go to the post office, you could get a lot more done in your day. And, the people filming themselves, too. I mean, like, how much would it interfere with your workout? Like, there's literally almost no videos of me lifting on my Instagram because it interferes with my training. I'm not going to sit there, see if anybody's around. I'm not going to sit there and see if, I know I need to do it, right, because everybody else is doing it. But it just interferes with my training. Like, it throws off my concentration. What are your thoughts on that?
I guess I started out training before the internet, so the entire concept of constantly telling people what I was doing really bothered me. And so I actually tried for a while to log my workouts, which I despise doing. And then I started fucking hating training because I didn't want to post something that wasn't epic. So like every time I went in the gym, I wasn't just trying to have a good workout. I was murdering myself trying to do something fucking crazy. And you can only do that so long. And I was like, I'm not even doing this for me. I'm doing it for a bunch of fucking 15-year-olds who probably don't lift weights anyway, so fuck them and fuck this. And, like, I'll make lifting... If I'm going to do something epic, I'll film it. But it has to be something that I haven't done before and that barely anybody else can do. Otherwise, who gives a shit?
Yeah. And
I had 11 million people... if the guy listens, like, congratulations for breaking Steinborg's record. But the guy weighs, like, 400 fucking pounds, and Steinborn didn't weigh 200. And he broke his record. Who gives a shit on the Steinborn squat? I had so many people send me a video of him doing a 500-pound Steinborn squat, and I was like, congratulations. He weighs 400 pounds.
Did you at least give him a golf clap?
Yeah, no, I didn't. I just do not give a and it was a miracle I watched the thing in the first place, but I was honestly confused why I kept getting it. So...
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's everybody likes feats of strength. That's one thing that I do think that, watching.
But it has to be a feat of strength. Nobody gives a shit what your coefficient is. Nobody gives a shit what, like, that you weigh 145 pounds and your fucking left foot fell off and your mom died and, you lost your favorite book. Nobody gives a shit about any of that. It's not a PR if you put all those caveats into it. And also, it's not anything anybody gives a shit about. There's this guy, Urban Primalist, on fucking Instagram that people keep winding up. I mean, if you look this guy up when we get off this podcast, you will regret doing so, but you got to do it anyway. No. We're talking about a man who looks like a child molester. I'm not saying he is, but he's got the mustache. He's very odd, and he wears.
May be.
He's been on a raw liver diet for I don't know how long, and I told him right at the beginning, you're going to get hypervitaminosis. It's the only way you can overdose on vitamins. And he did. He kept doing it. I don't fucking know why. But he's down to like 155 pounds, sopping wet, and he did like a 155-pound clean and jerk the other day and was jacking his dick about it. And it's like, nobody fucking cares. And he's talking about PRing with like 260 on the bench. And it's like, why does anybody watch this? But I'll tell you why people watch it. It's because the man is, if he's not flamboyantly gay, he has the appearance, by all accounts. I mean, it looks like Liberace crashed a cruise ship full of gay men into this guy.
Oh no!
So he does everything. He does everything shirtless to dance music, like gay dance music, like that you would hear in a gay club. And he does these like katas with sabers and things like that, and nunchucks, except they are clearly majorette routines that he is just holding a weapon for. It is difficult to describe how gay this is. And I have nothing against gay people. My brother's gay. Like, I know a lot of gay people, but like, there's a difference between likings to suck dick and performing a majorette routine while wearing a kilt, shirtless, to gay dance music. That's an entirely different thing.
Yeah, and some of those, like, there's those videos where everybody has this video, and then they kind of do like a reaction video to it. I don't know if you've ever seen this type of video.
I remember the 2 girls, 1 cup reaction videos, and I'm like, so I don't even get to see the video. I'm watching other people watch it.
Right,
it's like
and you're watching them
who are watching people. Yeah, people watch people play video games. What the fuck are we doing with ourselves?
To be fair, if you have superhuman reactions, fine. I'll watch you play Overwatch. But at the same time, like, fucking no, you're not superhuman.
Wouldn't you rather play Overwatch though than watch
I would. But at the same time, that's another boat that I miss too. Like, people my age. Of course, I'm not like people my age. I'm not. I'm not into the same shit. I got out of my party phase really, really quick. Shockingly quick. And it's just, I see my time as a currency, and I wouldn't waste it watching somebody jerk themselves off because they fucking didn't die in a video game. Like, okay, well, put 1/10 of the time that you spent getting good in a video game into an income-based profession, and you'd be a millionaire in 5 years. Like, and that's another thing. Like, even if people put, half the time they put into bodybuilding, into income-based thing, they become a millionaire in 5 years. Because there's so much time that people waste. And but to get back on topic here, when it comes to people putting like 8 squats and then going down like I would rather see you squat 135 to depth. And like, here's another thing too. Like, you're not superhuman strength here. You're not at that level yet, and that's okay. I wish that I could progress off 135 because dieting would be a lot easier, right? Like, if I could progress off 135, that would be fucking fantastic. But I just can't anymore. And instead of doing 135 deadlifts, I put 4 plates on. I have to load up 4 plates while I'm fucking tired of shit from a diet. Like I said, I'm like what I said before the podcast, I'm at the point in my diet now where I'm quick to, like, I'm getting hangry. I'm a little bit having little bipolar episodes just because I'm dieting hard enough. I'm like in an 800 to 900 calorie deficit. Like, you realize
if you keto diet, you don't have to do that. Just as an FYI.
Yeah, I know, but I don't have a gallbladder.
Okay.
If I go way, way high fats, I end up, shitting myself. So.
Oh, well, why they make diapers?
Hey, depends, right? I mean,
yeah, there you go.
Endorsement from this guy right here.
Jesus, dude, so we were. I'm gonna derail us because you said you wanted to do this anyway. There's a guy who was messaging me yesterday. And so, how many calories are you eating a day?
Don't get mad at me, internet. Okay, I'm dieting on 3,400 calories. Don't get mad at me.
Why would the internet get mad at you about that?
Because people diet on like 1,800 calories and then they get all pissed off because they don't know how to fucking anyway. Moving on, but I have a lot of activity.
So this guy was he was telling me that he was asking me how much weight he would gain on Chemical X, and I was like, well, there's a lot of factors that go into that, but I mean, provided you ate enough, you could blow up on it. And he was like, well, I'm hoping to gain 10 pounds, and I was like, cool. What do you? He was like, yeah, I had 4 eggs and an avocado for breakfast this morning, and I was like, oh, what? Okay, and then at lunch he was like, yeah, I had a chicken breast and a salad for lunch, and I was like, are you going to the hospital for anorexia? What the fuck are we talking about? I was like, what do you weigh? I assumed he was going to be like, weigh 112 pounds. He's a 200-pound dude, and he's running around thinking he's going to gain 20 pounds on Chemical X, eating like less than 2,000 calories a day. I don't even remember what the hell he had for dinner, but I ate more in 2 meals than and I wasn't even doing it. I trained arms yesterday, but it wasn't like I had fucking crazy day of training ahead of me. I ate 6,000 calories because I was training arms that day.
Yeah. Well, you know, a lot of people are afraid of getting fat.
Oh my God! If I had a nickel for every 300-pound and not terribly fat person telling me that they can't eat any more than they do because they'll get fat, it's like, it's a miracle you're alive on what you're eating. I mean, people are on literal starvation diets and wondering why they can't get stronger.
Here's the extra cool thing, right? So, like, I have a family member, I'm not going to mention any names, but one of the things that he told me, because he was trying to gain weight to get into the military, right? And one of the cool things that he told me is, you know, he wants to gain weight, but he only wants it to be muscle, and he literally can't see a life without being able to take his shirt off and be proud of not having any body fat on. And I'm like, then you don't want to gain weight. Fat gain is a very anabolic process, right? I mean,
yeah.
With muscle gain comes some fat gain, and then you take 12 weeks out of your life, which is not a big fucking deal if you're bulking for a year, right? And then you fucking, like, you do it all over again. And it's fucking beautiful. And it allows you to eat things. And it allows you to eat all the things, right? I mean,
yeah.
And you'll look better. Like,
and people will be like, oh, well, you could do that because you're on steroids. If you look at all of the turn-of-the-century strongmen, you look at any of the turn-of-the-century strongmen, look at what the fucking Saxon brothers ate. And, like, one of them was 155 pounds. They were eating 10,000 calories a day.
People get fat. People get fat on thyroid. People get fat on T3.
How?
Because it's back to this fucking Instagram culture, right? Like, these Instagram bros will sit there and fucking go out for, like, their buffet meal, right? And they'll just up the dose one day, and they'll be like, oh, it'll be fun. Eat, like, 10,000, 11,000 calories. Think that their 50 micrograms of T3 is going to fucking help. Like, blunt that a little bit. And then they gain 6 pounds. And by the way, there is a hard limit to the amount of body fat that you can gain. But it's pretty big. Like, you can gain 3 pounds of fat in, like, a day if you really fucking try. And there's a math equation that you can go on to figure exactly how much that is, but there's 480 grams, I believe, in a pound of fat. And you can store that much. Like, don't do that. Like, don't up the dose and then go to a fucking buffet and think that's going to be okay.
I don't understand. I literally cannot wrap my head around that. If you train your ass off, there's no fucking way you'll get fat.
Unless they do it for the grams.
Unless you're eating a ton of sugar.
Yeah. Well, that's all. I mean, buffets, come on. What kind of bottom barrel food do they shove at a buffet? You know?
I mean, when I go to the Chinese buffet sometimes, and I'm not eating fucking sugar when I go there. I eat all the meats.
I'm the same way, and I love beef and broccoli. Like, that's my fucking weakness.
And I mean, they put cornstarch in it, but fuck it. It's not like you're fucking sitting there eating cake.
But then again, I live in, like, banjo country, right? And there's a Golden Corral, like, up the street, and they fucking have, you know, like, all the sugar. And it's fine. Like, whatever.
I thought Golden Corral had, like, a barbecue thing now.
Okay. Let me rephrase that in a way that is more understandable. So, when people diet, right, because usually they don't do this when they're bulking. Generally, right? Because, again, you have this whole fucking, this whole fucking generation of pussy boys that are afraid to gain a little bit of body fat, right? So, they fucking go to a buffet while they're dieting, and then set themselves back 2 weeks, and then sit there and fucking complain about it, right? Like, I'm not gonna lie, I've done the same thing, but I stopped real quick. Like, it's fucking not worth it. But anyway, you had them go there, and they usually pick out the stuff that they're craving in a diet. And I'm sorry, but when you're dieting, some people just gravitate towards sugar. And it's glucose. It's fucking glucose. People want it. Your body's starving for it, you know? I mean, if you're dieting hard enough, you know, which most of these people aren't. But, you know, the first thing, because of my sweet tooth, the first thing I go to is the fucking dessert tray. I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, see, I guess that's where when people get fat on my diet, I'm like, what the fuck? What do you mean you didn't lose weight? And then they'll tell me like, I have one cheat window or two cheat windows a week, and they're 3 hours to the minute, And I lay out exactly like protein should still be your primary concern, but you can eat other things. Keep your sugar to a minimum. And so, I mean, if I ate any sugar in this cheat window, because the cheat window would be like 20 chicken nuggets to start, half an extra large pizza with sausage and pepperoni on it, and then go to the movie theater and get like a large popcorn with extra butter.
See, but that's not bad, you know?
No. And so you get lean as shit on that. But the second somebody's telling me, well, you know, I had half a small cheese pizza and then ate 4 fucking pans of brownies, it's like, I don't know how many fucking times I have to tell you people. I don't know why people chase diabetes like they do. But I mean, it's like everybody's in a fucking... You watch that show Carnival Eats? Holy...
Oh, no.
I mean, I get physically ill watching it. I'm like, people are just trying to get diabetes. It's they wake up in the morning and it's like they got a checklist and the first 10 things on it are diabetes.
No shit. And the thing that kills me now is there's this entire big, like, donuts has always been my weakness, which is why I just don't fucking eat them, right? Like, if you know you can't stop at one because everybody has that fucking food, you know, then you just don't fucking eat it. It's not that simple, but it is that simple. Right? But people like want, you know, desserts to be what they post on Instagram, and they're fucking sitting there with their fucking, you know, 12 dozen donuts. Or I know that's an exaggeration, but I mean, for fuck's sake, you know? You know, they go for donuts, and then they go for cheesecake, and then they go for all the sugary shit, and just shit that they know is just empty, you know? It's just nutritionally just nothing. And I guess whatever floats your boat. But, I mean, that's the trend that I've noticed anyway. I mean, have you looked at Instagram and seen that as well? I mean...
I don't follow hardly any lifters on Instagram. And the ones I do are generally, like, good-looking chicks who are, like, lifters.
Yeah.
So... either they're just taking booty pics in their fucking in their lycra pants, or they're actually like lifting something impressive.
Yeah, they're actually doing shit with their lives.
Yeah. Like this whole thing of like the Brad Castleberries, and I read an article about people lifting fake weights and shit like that, and I don't know why people get into that. I really, and I'm not saying that it's gay or anything like that. The whole muscle worship thing is a little creepy to me, but it's just, I don't understand. To me, I don't understand how you fetishize something that it's just what you do in life. Like, lifting weights is just life. I don't jerk off watching a fucking accountant balance books, just like I don't jerk off watching somebody lift weights. It doesn't make sense to me.
New fetish guys, you heard it here. So
yeah, I mean,
it's accountants out there.
That's
videos.
Like one of the few fetishes I don't have. I do not fetishize muscle at all. I can fetishize virtually anything, but I just don't get into that.
To be fair, yoga pants. I mean, you know.
Oh, yoga pants are fucking amazing.
But yeah, I get what you mean, and it's, you know, there's nothing wrong if that's your thing. Like, I'm a very open-minded guy. Like, whatever gets you off, like, fucking go for it, buddy. You're a fucking rock star.
At least admit you're jacking off watching these videos. Like, you don't have to. What is that meme that somebody started? It's where the thing you say when somebody looks jacked, ripped, tight, jacked, or whatever the fuck they say. Ripped, tight, jacked, swole. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jacked and
you don't
tan.
have to. Nah, it's not that. It's
okay.
Tight is in there somehow. I don't know. Instead of doing that or like saying no homo, just be like, I got off real fucking hard to this video. Move on with our lives. There's nothing wrong with that. Like,
and you know what? There's nothing wrong with a broner. It's an unintentional boner you get from a bro. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
And hey, at least you're not an incel. I got one all over my Instagram right now. He's driving me up the fucking wall.
You know what? That fucking comment that, I don't know who that is, Tara, whatever, on your Facebook, you said his dick can't even fuck him. That was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I love that fucking line.
Yeah.
Yes. But, man, that was fucking killer. I got a kick out of that. But, you know, the fake weights thing, that's been around in the fitness industry forever. And what people don't understand is it started out as a way to, you know, pros can lift the weight that they're probably putting up on the bar. Like,
but they can't hold it. They can't hold it in place and flex.
Because they just trained arms.
Yeah.
Because they just trained arms. Like, they look good for a photo with the fake weights, and then they move on with their lives and they actually go put it on the bar. You know? They don't boast about breaking records unless they can put up, you know? Or they shut up. I mean, nowadays you have everyone's a fucking record breaker on Instagram, but when you challenge them to an actual fucking lift off, no, I'm dieting right now, and no, I have an injury, or oh, my glute doesn't feel good. No, you can't do it. Like, fake weight, you got caught, bro. Don't worry about it. Like, that's fine. Just to, you don't even have to admit to it. Just stop saying you're a record breaker. That's the thing that pisses me off. But man, I'm aggressive right now. Sorry.
Nah, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with aggression.
But, and it's people are, if you progress, and just like I said, if you progress off 135, more power to you. Like, that's the spot we all, liked. Like, we liked going from 135 to 145 to 155 to, getting up to 2 plates and saying, I'm a god right now because I'm lifting 2 plates, and then going past 2 plates, and then going up to 3 plates, and like, yes, I'm a god again. And then fucking realizing that there are people that bench 6. That's great. Like, the journey is great. You don't have to rush it either. Because that's another issue, is people want instant gratification. Just like that guy.
With the fucking kids getting on fucking steroids at age 18.
Just like that guy, you were mentioning before with a 2,000 calorie diet on Chemical X. Like, you need to get your diet down first before you jump into anything, right? And if you want to gain weight, like on Chemical X, I don't see any problem within 8 to 12 weeks you gaining about 10 pounds. And then after you take our alpha PCT, 8 or 7 of that is keepable. And that's completely fine. Like, that's a respectable amount,
7 pounds in 12 weeks once you've leaned it out? That is fucking crazy. Like,
yeah. But people are obsessed with, 80 pounds. People are obsessed with turning into Ronnie Coleman overnight. It's just not going to fucking happen. I mean, I know we sell supplements and everything, but we do not promise, edgy marketing aside, we do not promise you're going to gain 20 pounds in a week. We don't promise that because it's unrealistic. We're one of the more honest supplement companies. I mean, pre-workout helps. You drive the intensity to get results. We're never going to say that this pre-workout is going to put mass on you. It's the same thing with Chemical X. Like, if your diet's in check, it will give you results. But you're not going to be Ronnie Coleman. You're not going to be Phil Heath on it. The things that makes those people dangerous is when it comes to a competitive scene, is they put the magic sauce together. Like, they say, I'm going to work hard, right? I'm going to train hard, and I'm going to eat right. They put all 3 of those things together.
At no point have the words, well, I can't eat that much, have ever come out of Phil Heath's mouth. Never, ever.
When he was playing basketball, maybe.
He was probably so sick from eating all the fucking time, he could barely move in between training sessions. But he did it. Yeah. And I've heard that Paul Dillett was, he was said to somebody one day, like, he just couldn't compete anymore because he was tired of being a pincushion.
And, to those guys who are $120 or even close to $150, because I know there's some people that may be listening to this thing that are in that in-between stage, or beginners that just kind of ran across this on YouTube or seen it on someone's social media because they shared it because they do actually like the show and that helps us out. Please do it. Those people can benefit from knowing that even if you do gain, like, let's just say, I mean, how easy is it to shed 8 pounds of fat?
It's incredibly easy.
It's incredibly easy. You can do it in 6 weeks. You can shed 10. So if you gain 8 pounds of fat on your bulk, but you gain, a total of 20 pounds, I mean, that's a fucking win.
And you're not going to lose. Win. And if you diet right and you keep training your ass off, you're not going to lose that muscle when you diet down.
High protein, plenty of healthy fats, take the energy that you need from carbs, it's fine. Or take the energy deficit, the deficit you need from carbs. It's fine. Like, if you have a gallbladder like mine, anyway. You know. Otherwise, do the apex predator diet. You know.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm kind of doing I'll call it a modified version of my typical diet right now because I'm still kind of dirty bulking, but I still don't eat a lot of carbs. But yesterday, for instance, I had, in my first 2 meals, I had a pound and a half of brisket, which I smoked in the oven, and I'm going to write about that soon because it turned out banging. And this weekend I'm making a backyard smoker, like a big cinder block one. But I did a pound and a half of smoked brisket with mixed in with beef ribs, and I just put that in a burrito shell with some with the Texas flavor of Whole Foods barbecue sauce, which is banging, and a shitload of ghost pepper sauce. That was my first 2 meals. I knocked out almost 2,000 calories in my first like 4 hours of being awake, because in between that I was eating wasabi almonds, and then my next meal was, I don't know, like I had like a bunch of protein cookies and a dozen pigs in a blanket before training. And then after dinner, I ate half a pizza, and then I ate more brisket. And it's like, that's how you fucking gain weight. I wasn't eating a shitload of carbs. I was eating a lot of protein and a lot of fat, and fat is anabolic.
Yeah, and this bullshit about being afraid of fat, where in the fuck... Okay, I know.
Yeah, it's not 1982. It's just not. We're not going jogging, and fat is not bad.
In large calorie surpluses, I'm talking like 10,000 calorie surpluses, which nobody's going to fucking eat, right?
No, and if you are eating that much, guess what? You're going to be Victor Richards, and you're going to out-train it anyway.
Yeah. But in those large calorie deficits, dietary fat may store as some body fat. But at the end of the day, like, how easy is 8 pounds to lose, baby? You're fucking golden. Just stop fucking worrying about dietary fat. At least, everybody should at least, and this is like the bare minimum I suggest, 20% of your total calories, at least if you're a carb junkie, should be dietary fat. I'm sorry, but anything lower than that and you just feel like you have the flu, it sucks.
And I'll say this, to all those guys out there who are 150 pounds, there's fucking nothing wrong with being 150 pounds. I was a jacked 150 pounder for a long time. And it wasn't until I switched from a bodybuilding diet of rice and broccoli and chicken. I ate that shit for years and years and years. And I managed to get up to about 170, but it was hard to hold on to. I miss a couple meals and you're down to 160. So when I finally switched over to eating a keto diet, the weight started coming on steadily, and I kept getting leaner and bigger all at the same time. And I'm not espousing a keto diet. All I'm saying is, back when I was 150 pounds, there was nothing fucking wrong with being 150 pounds and being a strong, jacked kid in a fucking gym.
There's nothing wrong with it now. It's just the standards have changed because of fucking social media.
Which is all bullshit, because, everybody's running around talking about fucking manlets. I don't see a lot of huge guys on the fucking internet. And the ones I do, you see, they're broken into like 3 groups. The ones of us who are actually big, the guys who use trick photography on fucking Instagram to look big.
Hell yeah.
Because they're lean, and they never have legs. And then there's the kids who are breaking their asses trying to look like those fucking Instagram superstars and completely ignoring what the actually big people do to get big. So, I don't know what my advice is other than be who you are. If you like lifting, fucking lift. However much you're eating, you're not eating enough. I can say that definitively. And I'm not saying go eat a fucking sleeve of cookies. I'm saying cook an extra steak today. Or, eat a bunch of fucking wasabi. Eat bacon. Eat a can of wasabi peanuts. I fucking love wasabi peanuts. Not peanuts, almonds.
Yeah. And a powerlifting trick that has been forever. It's been here forever, and it's just waiting for people.
You saying GOMAD?
Fucking peanut butter.
Oh.
You can add it to anything. And like shots of olive oil. I know it isn't tasty, but throw that in a shake with our Cannonball Kraken or something like that. You're golden.
Or cream, or half and half. Fuck milk.
That's
Or
another
drink
thing
it.
too.
Switch to whole milk instead of skim. Like,
Heavy cream too, or that canned evaporated milk. That
yep.
shit. If you have a fucking sweet tooth, buddy, you fucking strap in, because that stuff is sweet. It's calorie dense, and it is Gain City. I can fucking guarantee it.
Speaking of that, I have a book to recommend to the people that we're addressing right now.
Awesome.
It's called Better Nutrition. It's an old ass book. It's written by Bob Hoffman. I think I got it on Amazon for $4, including shipping. So you get that book. It has old school tips and tricks on gaining weight. And I mean, this guy was writing it at the time he was pushing soy protein because it was the protein that you could eat at that point, which all tasted like shit. But I mean, this guy was a maniac, and he had every hack in the world to get people to put on weight, and he did. He was the guy who privately funded the U.S. Olympic weightlifting team for like 30 years because he knew what he was fucking doing.
Yeah, and let me guess, some of the takeaway is eat more. Like
that is the takeaway.
That is the
takeaway is you're not eating enough. It's not about drugs. And I guarantee you this: the more you eat, the more you want to train. On days that I eat 2,000 calories, I don't want to fucking be in the gym for an hour and a half. On days that I eat 6,000 calories, I am ready to fucking slaughter some weights.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also, if I'm yelling at this point, I took a lot of ephedrine because my allergies are fucking killing me. So I might be a little overly hyped right now.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. I'm the one yelling more than you are this time.
This topic is very near and dear to my heart because I mean, I'm literally feeling my abs right now, and I barely have any fat on my abs, and I literally eat 6,000 calories of brisket a day. So like, come on, people.
Well, see, I don't have as much muscle mass as you do, although I'm working on it, and I still am over that 2,000 calorie mark when I'm dieting. I know I'm cheating a little bit because, it's also a large calorie deficit. If I wanted to lose weight slower, I could just go to like 3,800, But it's just, why? Like, why prolong it? And that's another thing people are afraid of when they diet and stuff like that. And I don't know your thoughts on that, but they extend their diet to like this 16 weeks of hell.
Oh Christ! Just diet. I mean, I'm not trying to pump up my diet, but if you keto diet, in 8 weeks you can get pretty much wherever you need to go. In 10 weeks you're definitely there. When you're dragging out, and that's with a cheat day every single fucking week. When people are dragging their diets out and they're making themselves miserable and they're eating all this fucking weird fake food, which by the way is going to retard your progress. I can't attest to the science of it, but I can tell you this for a fact. When you eat all these weird Walden foods and all this fake shit.
Don't get me started on fucking Walden Farms. Go ahead.
I drink Diet Coke by the gallon, which does not have any impediments. But when you start eating all these weird fake foods that have all this weird processed shit in them your body can't break down, you're just slowing your digestive process and you're making it much more difficult for you. Like, just fucking eat food. And I know we're a supplement company and we sell protein powder because, it's not supposed to be a replacement for food. It's an addition to food, which is something Bob Hoffman writes about. But fucking eat good, clean food that you make yourself. I was just about to say, if you're going to go to McDonald's, rather than get a grilled chicken sandwich, get 3 fucking crispy chicken sandwiches off the dollar menu. You'd be better off for it. But if you're going to, don't eat fucking lunch meat and shit like that. It's cheaper to just make your own. Just take the extra time to actually make food that you like, because if you make food that tastes good, I've written about this, your whole body chemistry changes, and you actually are leaner and happier as a result. So make food you like, eat the shit out of it, train your fucking ass off, and good things will happen. It doesn't matter about the fucking drugs, doesn't matter what program you're on, just go fucking bananas eating and go bananas training, and then you got it.
Yeah. And that's the takeaway from all this, is just do what you know is right all along, because this information is not hidden. It's in a bunch of different venues. I mean, it's written about 300 different times a day on these websites that have daily articles. It's not rocket science. People make it rocket science, though. I mean, I used to be in the previous episode that we had with Peter Baker, Peter D. Baker. I went over my thoughts on calories in, calories out. Like, does that matter? And I said I can't answer that, and I got thinking about it more, and it's like, you know, when it comes down to it, maybe you could get the same body composition results, but I don't think so in reality. I think that eating more towards optimal bodily function will always, 100% of the time, yield better results. Because I've started doing it. Now, I used to be part of that if it fits your macros crowd, and like everything, like, I mean, just like fucking, hey, I can have as much ice cream as I want as long as my calories are filled. Like, fucking, in my opinion, that's the wrong way to go if you care about longevity too. Because you may feel great when you lose 50 pounds or 100 pounds or whatever, if it fits your macros, is good for, because I know it's big in that sort of environment, you know, losing weight. But you will eventually, at some point, it will catch up to you, and you will feel like shit. Eat good, wholesome foods. I'm talking sweet potatoes. I'm talking fucking red meat. I know I'm gonna piss off a bunch of fucking vegans.
Please, not with the sweet potatoes. If we were in a studio together, we would be putting on gloves right now. Not with the sweet potatoes, please.
Okay, to be fair, I'm Southern. I like sweet potatoes.
Oh, all right. I thought you were doing that fucking don't eat white potatoes. Oh my god.
Oh god, no.
It's all brown rice. Brown rice.
Here's the funny thing. Brown rice can actually poison you.
My eye is twitching.
You'll be okay. Brown rice can poison you eventually. It's okay.
Can it really?
Yeah, there's okay, asterisk, from what I remember about researching it last time. I don't really like brown rice.
No, it doesn't taste good.
Yeah, I mean, like, in Mexican food, fine, right? But, like, it's not something that I would, like, there are certain items that when you go to the store, you say, that's what I want, that sounds good to me. Brown rice has never been one of them for me.
No, but I'll tell you this.
Neither is wild rice.
I'll occasionally eat white rice. I'll make sticky white rice and just douse it in sriracha, and that's my dessert.
You know what? I'm the same type of dude.
White rice with sriracha is so fucking good.
White rice with, even making white rice with a little bit of Alfredo sauce and stuff like that.
There you go.
Guess
or you do it Chipotle style, and my God, their rice is banging. I couldn't love a human child as much as I love that rice. Jesus, it's good.
But it's one of those things where, like, if you eat, and back to the where we were going there, if you eat for performance, you will reap the rewards. You have to give. I mean, I'm sorry, the old homage is true. Your body's a temple. Goddamn it, fucking put out your offerings. Like, you. Fucking,
I will say this. I will because you go ahead and say your thing, and I'm going to retract part of my my calorie statement.
Your body is a temple. Like, fucking give that bitch, like, the fuel that it needs to fucking turn on the lights, make sure everything's running, do your maintenance on the temple, you know, like, fucking power wash the side every once in a while, like, fucking eat your vegetables, eat your fucking greens,
wash your balls.
Wash your balls, yeah. Clean off the gongs. It's just, it'll do a body good, and it shows in the physiques that you see that do that. It shows. There's no way to refute that. So, but go ahead.
All right, I'm gonna interrupt myself before I start and just say, you ever had a gym bro spot you on bench who his personal hygiene really isn't where it should be, and he's got his fucking balls in your face? That
yes.
That is not a good time. That's an abs. That I generally don't ask for a spot from people on bench anyway. But when I do, I choose my spotter very carefully. Yeah,
I completely agree on that one. I train alone, so.
Yeah, I mean now I train with my girl, but it's I don't really use her as a spotter. I hate spotters. But in any event. So the whole calories in, calories out thing, and if it fits your macros, I will say there is one point in the day where I will agree with if it fits your macros, and it's only because I've used it personally, and from personal experience, it is the time you can do it. Immediately post-workout, when I go like right from a 2-hour training session directly to Dairy Queen and get like 2 hamburgers and a fucking hot dog and a large Blizzard, I make gains.
That's fair.
Yeah, you just get as much shit in your face as you possibly can, maximize your protein, and then fucking go wild with the sugar, and you're replenishing glycogen stores, and like, I think it works there. But outside of that, it's all bullshit. Like, you can't be like, oh, well, I get 150 grams of carbs today, so I'm going to eat it in cupcakes. No, don't fucking do that. It's just stupid. And you'll feel like shit, like you were saying.
And, you know, a lot of these people in the fitness industry also have binging disorders. It's crazy. Like, you know, they'll have one cupcake and it's you know, face into trough.
Oh God!
You know?
Have you ever been around a figure competitor or a fitness competitor chick?
Yes.
They have a different breed of eating disorder that is psychotic. It's frightening to watch because, like you were saying, when they binge, and then they're immediately in the bathroom throwing up. They're impossible to be around. Their fucking hair's falling out. Or for the
next month, they're just like
doing 4 hours of cardio a day.
They're like animals that have been abused. They think that they're like chihuahuas just shaking. Like, I can't believe I did that. I can't believe it. It's not that serious.
Oh, and they hate themselves more than any part. Like those chicks you think are hot on Instagram, holy shit, you've never met a person with lower self-esteem. They are, and I'm not saying that as a criticism of them. I feel legitimately badly for them.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's one of those things where it is a very difficult issue because they chose the industry in which that is magnified, right? So if they're getting paid from Instagram for showing their fit body, and then they're feeding that with an industry that literally glorifies, I mean, it's a very complicated issue. And anyone
and then their entire self-worth is predicated upon their appearance. And now we got to get a psychologist on here for our next
I'd be fucking
episode.
down. But yeah, I'll look into that.
I'll go. Actually, I could probably get Maria Cotino in here. She has every goddamn degree under the sun. So
okay, yeah, because that'd be interesting. Because I guess we can talk to her about you know, women and those issues too. Because you know, another issue. She's
a powerlifter and a figure competitor.
Another issue we have is these fucking online personal trainers that treat women like smaller men, and it's just not. It's not the same. I mean, you know, I can go into it a little bit, but I'm not a woman, so my opinion's invalid to most of Reddit. You know, it's one of those things where, you know, the week leading up to the menstrual cycle, their progesterone spikes and their strength plummets. And then the week of the menstrual cycle, their estrogen starts to spike a little bit, the strength starts to come back, and then for 2 weeks they feel like a god. And then their weight also balances out a little bit there too. So it is different, and it would be an interesting perspective to have a woman, so that we have Reddit not screaming at us.
I've actually written about that. I had an article that I wrote about it because of a passing comment I made in one of my dieting articles, and it was flippant, but it wasn't necessarily meant to be dismissive. It was just, it's exactly my opinion. I really feel like most women don't need dietitians, they need psychologists. Because there's so much you have to undo psychologically in order to get them in the proper mindset to actually eat the way they should.
And lift heavy. It's still around. Fucking shit. What the fuck? It's still a myth.
Like, now we got all these girls running around who are squatting 6 times a week and have the greatest lower bodies ever, and then their upper bodies look like they just got out of a prison camp. That's the bizarrest thing ever. Like, so they could be jacked below the waist, but above the waist they have to look like a waif.
Yeah, and I'm talking about like the pink dumbbell epidemic, like the fucking not even enough weight to pick up your kid. Toddlers weigh about 30 pounds. Like you can't pick that up because you've been lifting pink dumbbells. Just stop. Anyway, that's another.
Yeah, but so the other half of that was I actually addressed, because I was talking to a female powerlifter who was discussing with me like how she had a shit meet because of her menstrual cycle, and it occurred to me women should plan their meets around their cycle, because there's like yeah, what is it called? It's not laxagenin, but it's something similar. I wrote the article like 5 years ago, but it's a muscle that relaxes your ligaments and tendons in females to prepare them for childbirth, and that releases around their period, so they completely lose their stability. So like they're just they're just wobbly, for lack of a better term, and it's not. That's just something you need to plan for, because if you plan for meat and that you don't put your cycle in mind, because chicks seem to know what their cycle is, like you're gonna just fuck
Everyone
yourself
should
up.
track it. Yeah.
And also, it's impossible to cut weight when a chick's on her period. It is impossible. Holy shit! I nearly killed a girl trying to get her trying to get her down to weight. The weight would not come off, and I mean, I was boiling this girl in hot water. Like I would have lost 20 pounds in 2 hours. This girl lost like 3 pounds, and I was like, I honestly, short of diuretics, and I don't even think that would do it. Your water's just not coming out of you. You're gonna have brain death if we keep trying. Yeah. So we stopped. But I mean, I felt terrible because I know every water loss trick in the book outside of Lasix. I don't know anything about Lasix, but I know all the tricks. So and this. I mean, I was boiling this girl in hot water, and it would not come off. And I was just like, and finally she was like, well, maybe it's because I'm on my period. And I was like, holy shit, you think?
That should have been up front, you know? And,
yeah, goddamn.
But, yeah, I actually talked to a bikini competitor, and if you're listening, you know who you are. Thank you for the information. It's very, very helpful. She gained 15 pounds on her period on average.
Holy
15
Christ.
pounds. And it looks like she had like a little pregnant belly, right?
Uh-huh.
And then her ankles swell, and then her thighs swell. It's the craziest water retention I have ever seen. And it was all because of that fucking time of the month. Now, when chicks' feet swell, it makes me giggle like a little kid. A chick will be like, my feet are swollen, and I just laugh my ass off because it is the weirdest thing to me. Like, have you ever had your feet swell? I've never had it happen. I mean, one time I got a really bad leg injury and my foot swelled, but that was edema. Yeah. Yeah, no, I've never had any swelling issues at all, I think, except for a really good pump, hey. But,
yeah, but it always happens on a plane. They're loosening their shoes, and it's like, all right.
Loosening their shoes, and then, like, the imprints left there.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, what the hell? But yeah, Flex Armstrong. It reminds me of Flex Armstrong. You remember those, Stretch Armstrong, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You remember those old toys where you could just poke in on him and, like, it would stay? Yeah. But it is bizarre, and it's something that a lot of online coaches, because online coaching is a giant business model right now. It's one of the things that online coaches, especially inexperienced online coaches, do not account for. They literally treat chicks as smaller men, and that is a disservice to a female. But at the same time, yeah, I know it's crazy. She kind of informed me that a lot of the competitors actually use forms of birth control in order to delay their period if it comes up on contest prep, and they're just one of those girls because if you get lean enough,
then you can stop having your period.
Yeah, well, temporarily, right? And I mean, if you get really, really lean, like, not to name drop here or anything, like, sometimes I worry about people like Dana Lynn Bailey and healthy cycle, but she may just have the genetics for it. Like, she's a beast.
It's hilarious when people talk shit about that girl, like, on Instagram. She's fucking huge and this and that. I've met Dana Lynn Bailey. I've met her before she was famous, and I've met her since. You could put the girl in your pocket. She weighs all of like 115 pounds. Like, she's tiny. I mean, yeah, she's dry as a bone and lean as hell. But, like, her gains are not, like, out of this world. People act like she's
for a female. They are. Yeah.
They act like she's the She-Hulk, and it's like, and she's dumb as a post, but she's a super nice girl. And yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to disparage the girl at all, and frankly, I don't give a shit if she's on gear or not. But like,
keep doing what she's doing, though. She looks phenomenal.
She does. So. But there was another girl. The girl I had in mind when I was talking about how like their dieting becomes a psychosis. I don't recall. I used to put her on my blog all the time until I read this article where she had stopped dieting seriously because she realized she had like a severe mental health issue, and she also hadn't had her period in like uh, something like 5 years. And
Yeah.
she had gotten to the point where a cheat meal for her was a shot of tequila and like a handful of like baked lays. And I was like, oh my god. And she was putting fucking fake butter on everything. And
Okay.
I used to use that spray butter back in the day, and I wish I could have those years back and just fucking use butter. Because
I can't
goddamn,
believe it's not butter. It comes in a spray bottle. Yeah.
yeah, my
Yeah.
god, you start smelling like it. Oh, it's fucking vile,
And it gets on your hands, and it just
and
won't
it
come
stains
off.
your hands. Yeah, oh
Yeah,
Christ.
yeah. And we
I met
can.
I know a girl in college who used to put it on lettuce.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, sometimes dieting gets to be a problem.
She about that 1,200 or 1,000 calorie life?
Oh, she was all about that life. I'm
Okay.
sure she had a lot of 800 calorie days.
Oh no. On top of the 2 hours of cardio. Please,
Oh
no.
yeah,
But we'll.
that fucking that fucking stair mill where they're holding themselves up with their arms and just kind of flapping their legs around.
Yeah,
What is
they're
it
doing
with
the donkey
bodybuilders in
calf
the
raise.
fucking stair mill? Like they think that's like the end all be all of cardio. It cracks me up.
Yeah,
They
and they
got
do
their
the
jug of
kickbacks.
water. Yeah, they got their jug of water. They've leaned all their upper body on the thing, and they're just acting like they're doing one of the trials of Hercules. And it's like you're walking fucking stairs, settle, and you're not even doing that. You're leaning on a machine and pretending like you're walking stairs.
Oh man, but you know what? There's a whole nother argument about fucking human hamster wheels that we've created because it's a problem that we can go into too at a later date because it's fucking hilarious. Like if you think about it, we're the only species on the planet, right? Because we are animals. We're the only species on the fucking planet that creates a goddamn replacement for walking outside because we just don't want to
Especially
do
on
it.
a nice day. Like it's 70 degrees outside right now, and I can only imagine how many people are going to be doing cardio when I get to lifetime. I can only
Or
imagine the
or while they
cardio
listen
machines
to
are going to be
this,
packed.
or why they listen to this. This is going to be treadmill material, man.
Oh yeah, Jesus.
But yeah, it's but whatever. We'll save the women's stuff for another episode, and I'd like to get back on topic of these guys
Let's
who.
just say for a caveat, like there's no misogyny behind what we're saying at
No,
all.
no, 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 no.
Not at all. Like I really, when I said what I said, it was because I having dated a lot of girls who train very hard and stuff like that, I realized that women have this kind of ingrained self-hatred that makes it difficult for them to overcome certain like biases in food and training. So if that makes sense.
And my place comes from when you hire an online coach, make sure that he takes your needs into consideration. And being a female is a need. I mean, it's one of those things where if he doesn't consider it, he's bad. That personal trainer, that online coach is bad. They are just bad. Because when your period comes around, they're going to diet you super hard. They're going to try and shed that weight. And for 2 weeks, they're going to be like, what? Like, you're not losing any weight. Here's an hour more of cardio. And then all of a sudden, you drop 10 pounds. And they're like, I did it. I'm the best coach ever. I am a god. So, it's a joke. But anyway, it's
Or just hire a female who's done it herself and
Exactly.
knows how to do it. And
Yeah.
also, while we're at it, when you're hiring a coach, hire somebody who's done what you're trying to do.
Yeah, and if
Don't
they
just hire
haven't,
one of these fly-by-night fucking idiots on Instagram. I don't know why people do that, and it drives me crazy. And I'm not saying that because I'm trying to pump coaching myself. I generally turn people down when they ask me to coach them. But,
Right.
yeah, just fucking get somebody who knows what they're talking about. And that whole thing about, you don't have to have done it in order to know how to do it. Yeah, you fucking do.
yeah, I mean, if you haven't competed, you don't know where they are. You don't know how to do things. I mean, there's a whole, especially in my wheelhouse, which is bodybuilding and the stuff that I'm doing. You know, because you're powerlifting, you're a general badassery fitness, strong person. I'm more of the I'm gonna get a pump and look good in the mirror person. From my standpoint, when you get down to 3 to 4% or 5% or whatever fucking DEXA scan or calipers or whatever the fuck you want to use, percent body fat, and you look crispy and stuff like that, there is an art to getting people like that. It's not simple. And if it were simple, everybody would look like a bodybuilder, and they don't. So, Um,
Just like
but
if steroids were magical, everybody would be benching 400 pounds.
oh my god! And that brings us back to what I wanted to kind of revert us
The
back
original,
on.
yeah, your original thing, and
Yeah.
we're at 1 hour here, so I guess we gotta speed through this.
Well, hey, all right, we'll do that. So, long story short, if you can't do 6 plates on the bench press without going to at least some sort of squat, don't do it. You know, and then you're gonna jump from doing like some shitty benches, which you barely lift it off your chest or you barely lift it down. I mean, people do too much weight with a bunch of goofy different things. Like they do these cheat curls because Arnold did them. Well, you're not Arnold. You know? You can't get away with that. Like, and you're not that strong. You can't do that with 225. But you know, if you can't do that, don't. You know? Start at what's heavy for you, and don't worry about recording it for Instagram. That will set you back. And it annoys me that people feel the need to put that shit on Instagram when it just makes them look ridiculous. It's just a fucking joke.
I will say, coming from the powerlifting side of it, and it does have an application to bodybuilding as well, that there is a way to do partials where, one, you don't look like a fucking asshole, and two, that they're actually effective. And say you're dying to put 6 plates on the bar and squat it, but clearly you can't get the depth.
Pin squats.
Exactly. Set the pins up so you're doing a half squat to a quarter squat, and just stand up with it, hold the lockout for 10 seconds, return it to the pins, let the weight settle, repeat. Those are very effective, and the Russians and the Bulgarians and certain U.S. Olympic weightlifters used to use the shit out of those things, and they had great progress with them. I personally use them in my competition training. I think I'm going to actually start incorporating bench press lockouts this year. I've had problems with my elbows in the past on those, but I'm just going to say fuck it and do it. But for squat, squatting off the pins, and I do it from all the way from the dead bottom to like 2 inches from the top. Like, those things have massive carryover.
And rack pulls.
Oh, I do rack pulls all the fucking time. I do rack pulls every time I shrug. And
they're awesome.
I love them.
Yeah.
So there is a place for and you can even do partial curls. And I don't think there's a problem with cheat curls if say that's we'll call it a heavy compound movement for your biceps, even though it's not really. But like, if that's your main movement for the day, you really want to do some fucking cheat curls, get in there, do some crazy ass cheat curls. But after that, do your concentration curls, do your cable curls, do slow controlled curls with good form. That way you get the benefit of both aspects. You get the crazy heavy weight with sloppy form, and you get the good form.
I will say this: if you're doing cheat curls though, and you feel pain in your front delts or towards the front of your shoulder, and it's just the stingy, achy shit, and you've probably been doing curls and cheat curls the wrong way the entire time. Don't put your shoulders at risk because you literally shrug up the weight when you're doing fucking cheat curls like that. At some point, we'll have to go into how everybody overtrains their front delts, because it drives me fucking nuts. Oh my god! See, we've gotten a lot done on this one.
Yeah, we have.
The last thing I'd like to go over is the same people who do these shitty, like, not even workouts, right? They go in there, fuck around for 20 minutes, and then they foam roll before and after.
Oh my god.
They spend 45 minutes foam rolling, 20 minutes working out, and then 45 minutes foam rolling.
But they got every fucking bit of elite FTS gear and girl gear, and they got all this fucking gear on, and like they got the cool gym bag, and I just want to grab. If I owned a gym, I would beat those kids and throw them in the fucking parking lot and tear up their membership. I can't stand that shit. It drives me fucking crazy. They're fucking posers, and they need to get out of my scene. Like, we need to start policing our scene.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but I will say that if anything, a more flexible person leads to more injury. I mean, we discussed that before. It's stupid. We slip on ice, we're going to be fine. We're going to actually get back up. Somebody who does
we
yoga,
might fall down and break an elbow, but we're not going to tear anything.
somebody who does yoga is going to tear a groin getting out of the truck.
Yep.
Like, it's fucking stupid. Because a more rigid muscle, a more tight muscle, equates to a more structurally sound one.
You're also going to have better muscle tonus, which is what people say they look toned. Your muscles are going to look tighter, and they're going to look more flexed at rest.
And I mean, that's really, I mean, if you really need to do something, I mean, the study that everybody quotes when it comes to warm-ups has to do with rectal temperature, right? So if you want to increase your body temp a couple degrees, do 10 minutes on the treadmill at a brisk pace, then go lift if you really need it. Like, it's cold as balls here in Arkansas because it snows sometimes, you know? And where you're at, you're in Wintergeddon, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
well, it's actually 70 degrees outside right now, but...
Well, yeah, I'm talking about like in the winter or something. Like, if you wake up and you're one of those people who are just generally cold, like, go 10 minutes on the treadmill and maybe do some light dynamic stretches, but or warm up with the lifts that you're doing with the bar. I have
a better solution than that.
What's that?
Tan for 10 minutes.
I like that.
The Germans did a bunch of studies on it during World War II. They called it irradiation, and it actually increases your lifts. Every time I've had the ability to tan before I lifted, I've always done it, and it always works out well. Basically, what I'd do is I'd pop a bunch of fat burners, jump in the tanning bed, rub one out, fall asleep for 10 minutes, get up, and I'd feel like a fucking $1 million.
You know what? That's a recipe for success.
Yep.
I will say, minus the rubbing out, me and you need to troll a Planet Fitness. That needs to fucking happen.
I clean my. It's not, and I control my finish, but I
control your spray. Yeah.
I always wipe the bitch down. I'm not that filthy a motherfucker.
Oh, okay. As long as you like bring some Clorox wipes in there, I think we'll be fine. But I think that's gonna wrap things up for this episode of the Hatecast. Rant 30. If you guys like this segment, please let us know in the comment section below. If you want to see this more, we do have one question. Do you want to answer a question, or do you have to go?
No, I'm good. Let's do it.
All right, one question that I got inboxed to me from the Q&A, because I asked for more questions. If you have any more questions, please leave them in the comment section below. DM Jamie or I on Instagram, and go ahead and give us some questions, or message the Facebook page, and we will answer those on episodes of the Hatecast, or do a Q&A once we've built up a crap ton of them. So, what is the difference? You can't seem to find the difference between bodybuilding with heavy weight and power building, because nobody can, from what he said, nobody can put a difference to the two, right? Like, there are people that bodybuild with heavy compound movements, and power building seems to be just that. So, what is the difference, in your opinion?
Well, I would say that bodybuilding with heavy weights would be more along the lines of what, say, Phil Heath does. Phil Heath doesn't do a lot of compound movements. He typically sticks to machines, but he'll go fucking heavy on them. Whereas a person who power builds, like, say, I know that this is going to catch heat, but Mike O'Hearn, like, he does a lot of powerlifting movements. He does the squat, he does the bench, deadlifts, overhead presses, and he goes fucking bananas on those. And then he'll do whatever after that, whatever bodybuilding movements he wants to after that, fuck around with dumbbells or machines or whatever. That, in my mind, is more power building. I guess what I'm doing right now is power building, and I do virtually that. I'll pick a heavy compound exercise, like yesterday I close grip benched for triceps. So I close grip benched, worked up to a heavy single, did a bunch of triples, did a bunch of 12s, and then I went and did a fuck ton of cables. And then I did biceps the same way. I did really heavy hammer curls, and then went and did a bunch of cables and machines. So that would be power building to me, whereas heavy bodybuilding would be more focusing on isolation movements, just happening to go heavy on them. And really heavy for that would be 6 to 8 reps. Whereas with power building, you're still doing like 1 to 3 on your compound movement, and then 6 to 8, 10 to 12 on the others.
Right. My opinion is I think we kind of have the same opinion on this, and we train pretty similarly, it sounds.
Huh.
So what I do is I pick, my bread and butter. Like, no matter the time of day or the day that I'm training is first thing that I do is a compound movement, right? Squats, deadlift, bench press. I'm not a fan of overhead press because I have shoulders that tend to yell at me. But, pull-ups, something along those lines, some sort of variation of those with free weights, heavy. I'm talking triples, fives. I'm not a fan of singles because I have long arms. Sometimes that gets in the way of me efficiently doing a single. But that I think power building is literally getting your heavy shit, adding on accessory movements, and looking aesthetic as fuck. Heavy bodybuilding, in my opinion, just like he said with Phil Heath, what he's doing is he will pick machines that he likes, right? Pound the fuck out of the muscle with those machines, with heavy weight for him, which is 6 to 8, sometimes 5. I've seen him do with the hammer strength bench, right? And that's about it. But I do think that's the difference. It's a bigger emphasis on heavy compound movements with free weights.
I do, by the way, encourage people to do machine-only workouts every now and again, especially for people who don't do machines. If you don't do machines and you're busy being one of those idiots who's squatting every day, take a day and pick a body part that sucks on you. And if you're squatting every day, it's likely your shoulders. And just do every fucking machine in that place until your eyes are bleeding. And then tell me that you're not sore for a week. You're sore in ways you've never conceived, and you are bigger and more muscular, and you'll be stronger the next time you go in the gym. Machine-only workouts work.
Right. And one of the misconceptions, too, is, like, everybody's afraid of those stabilizer muscles that everybody wants to be built and strong and everything like that. We'll get weaker by doing machines, and I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but, no.
I'm not advocating a machine-only program. I mean, they'll still work. Clearly, they work for Phil Heath. But
yeah.
The people who have problems with small muscle groups are the people who solely do large compound movements, like people who follow Ripeto's program and shit like that. Those kids are the ones, and that's why they plateau, or they'll hit like an absolute hard ceiling that's weird as shit. It's because you have no rear delts, none at all. Like you literally, they might as well have been surgically removed because they don't exist. Shit like that. They'll end up having no fucking hamstrings, and they wonder why they can't squat. Well, maybe do some goddamn leg curls. It's fascinating what happens when you do leg curls.
And the older I get, the more and more a fan I am of when you're in there and you have a set plan or a set routine or whatever. Like, you have your bread and butter. Everybody does. They go in there and they like benching, so they bench. But along with your bread and butter, auto-regulatory, in an auto-regulatory fashion, if you feel like shit that week, and you're going to feel like shit because you just got over the flu, you lost a bunch of weight or something like that, that's the time to fucking get into a machine-only workout, because you will progress no matter fucking what, because it feels different, it has different benefits, and it allows you to, in my opinion, like, I'm a big fan of the mind-muscle connection, the squeeze, the blood is engorged in your muscle bellies, and you just can't even lift your arms afterwards. I love that style of training. I just fucking love it so much. And you can get a really good version of that with machine only, and then switch back to your bread and butter and see if you progressed, and if you feel like shit again, go machines again. I mean, that's a great way of auto regulating your recovery to training access, because
Absolutely,
everybody overtrains at some point in their life. Like, everybody has that point where their recovery to their training access kind of tips in the favor of oh no, I shat on my recovery, I feel like shit, right? Machines only, baby. That's a great way to get past that sticking point. So, but that's just one man's opinion. But and good news for you guys. We stuck the ad break at the end of this podcast. That's right. We're at the end, and we have ranted for longer than 30, and that's okay. So, speaking of recovery, speaking of feeling better, Helios is a fantastic product to help with recovery. And I'm not just saying that as someone who works for the company. I'm saying that as somebody who uses the product. Now, when I first started lifting, I had this idea in my head where it was okay to compete with people in the gym like in the old days of powerlifting. What I didn't realize is my strength was shit. And I was very, very new to the game, and I was, at that time, shoulder pressing 35-pound dumbbells, and I thought that it'd be okay to go from 35 to 70 because I saw somebody else do it, and they kind of gave me that nod, like, you're weak. Or at least that's what happened in my head. So I went up with a 70, and my arms were shaking, and I was like, oh my god, and my arms went back, and I heard a That's why I don't do overhead press that often. Because I'm pretty sure I fucked myself up. That's okay. Everything's okay. It's recovered and everything now, but every once in a while, my shoulder, when I sleep, I roll over and sleep on my side and have my arm up in the pillows. And sometimes my shoulder gets a little achy. I added Helios, and about a month or two later, I don't feel as bad. And it is wonderful. It is wonderful. I started taking it pre-bed, which is my favorite dosing scheme for it. So.
And I'll just add, since I was the one who formulated it, it came because I tore my tricep not lifting. I tore my tricep in a car accident, and then I tore my bicep because I had torn my tricep and I didn't have full extension. And I tore it deadlifting. And so I looked into how best to recover from that. And I came up with this blend of anti-inflammatories that actually hit upon all the different types of inflammation, as opposed to just 100% blocking one and leaving the rest to run rampant like Advil does.
And
yeah, exactly. And so fighting the inflammation, I found that I was able to come back faster, I was able to train better, but I also found that it improved just general joint health. And I started doing research into, because all the joint supplements that were on the market at the time were shark cartilage and all that bullshit. That stuff is clinically proven not to fucking work. What works is addressing the inflammation you get from overuse of joints or overwork, or just you just put wear and tear on your body and it gets inflamed as a result. So when you reduce that inflammation, you reduce the pain, then you can train harder and you don't have problems with stuff ripping and tearing and snapping off. So I mean, I'm not just a hair club for men president. I'm also a client. I tested the shit on myself, and then it just so happened I went to my business partner Wayne and I said, I got this formula. It fucking works like a charm. Like, we might as well throw it out there, and people love it.
Well, that's fucking awesome. And like I said, it's helped me. I also have bicep. I have the bicep plexus nerves underneath my pec pinching right now because my chest is stronger than my back because I'm one of the bench bros. And it helps with nerve pain, it seems to me. Right? Now, the results may vary, but for my personal use case, it does help. And, yeah, it's a killer product, and it's available at www.chaosandpain.com, and that's the end of the ad break, because we're not a shill on this podcast. So, we appreciate you sticking with us, and thank you for listening. If you like this video, go ahead and like it. If you are not subscribed to this video, what the fuck is wrong with you? You need to subscribe to this YouTube channel. And as a benefit of being a subscriber, you are also entered into a chance to win something. I think we may give away some Helios in this episode. So, just so that you can see that it works for you. So, with that being said, we will see you in the next one.
Oh, where do we stand on Stitcher and iTunes?
We stand. I got busy with real estate, and it will happen. Please don't kill me.
All right. Well,
all right.
Thank you.
All right. Peace.